Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hot Takes and Beer Breaks. Oh, okay, we're stopping.
What?
Nope, we're
No.
not. Nope. All right.
No, why would we stop, John?
Stop. I can't see your hands. So,
John,
like,
this
when
is a
you're.
podcast. You don't need to see it. Feel it. Talk about
No,
it.
but when Binder's counting down, all I see is, like, the tips of his fingers. I'm like, I think that's a one. So then
Just
when he
the
goes
tip.
like that, yeah.
Nice.
All right, run it back.
No, we're still going.
No, we're still going.
I can only do 2 takes. You can't pay me for more. Let's keep it
Run
rolling.
it back. Run it back. Run it back.
You're listening
Just
to Hot Takes and Beer Breaks, the only podcast that has some hot takes but more beer breaks.
Are we actually running with this right now?
Yeah, let's go with it.
Oh
We already
my
messed up
god.
once.
All right, guys. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Hot Takes and Beer Breaks, or you can email in at hottakesandbeerbreaks@gmail.com. So this week we're going to be talking about and I'm joined by Justin and Jason. I'm your host,
Yeah,
John.
just leave us out of here.
Yeah, I don't
I
like
guess
you
not.
guys. You
We're
guys
not
make
important.
Already
me
kicking us
run
out.
with mistakes. You guys are
It's
dancing
that
on the
slow phase out,
podcast.
Jess. That's what it is. It's that slow phase out. He's slowly getting rid of us.
I can't
Next
wait.
week we're not even gonna be here. It's just gonna be him.
Budget cuts
This
in the
week-
pod. We're getting laid off. This is bull.
Yeah. We don't even get paid and we're getting laid off. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking economy, man. Can we tell you?
So this week we're going to go back to headline news. We got some stories we're going to talk about this week.
We're going to talk about
Let's-
the new union that me and Binder are starting on the pod.
Damn right.
So you can't
You're not allowed
bully
to
us
start a
anymore.
Reunionize,
union.
you son of a bitch. That's what you get.
I'll just print off pictures of your faces and talk over
Eat
you
our
anyway.
butts, Bezos.
All right. So Bubba Wallace, he is a NASCAR racer. He races under the number 43.
Would he
formerly
be a
known-
NASCAR driver, John? Not a NASCAR
He's a
racer.
NASCAR athlete.
He runs alongside when the cars crash and races to victory. So he's a driver under the
Sounds good.
Richard Petty number 43. He races for that company. He, in his garage, I guess one of his teammates found what they said was a noose and reported it to the authorities. A lot of things were made out about it. There was a very strong presentation before the Talladega race, and they pushed his car up to the front. Everyone showed their support in NASCAR. There was just an overwhelming support of Bubba Wallace and supporting him as a racer, as a driver, as a person. And a lot of people were very upset about this. There was a number of commentators very upset. And then it was finally discovered by the FBI that it was not actually an actual hate crime. No one was actually targeting Bubba Wallace. What was happening was one of the garage doors has a rope tied around it, and it's tied in the fashion of a noose, and it just so happened to be Bubba Wallace's garage. And it was mistaken for, well, it was tied in the style of a noose, so I guess it is technically a noose. The FBI and Bubba Wallace and NASCAR, everyone kind of called it a noose, but it was just found to be a rope tied back all the way back until 2019, so it wasn't a hate crime or anything like that. Yeah? No? Yeah?
I mean,
You just said everything.
yeah, is that all the information on that?
Well, that's all the information. But I mean,
So are
a
you
lot of
saying
people
that
kind
nothing
of,
before 2019 could be a crime?
well, they were just, it was, I
Mhm.
think it's one of those things where it was, one of his teammates, no one notices it, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden this week with the Confederate flag being banned from NASCAR, a lot of people being very upset, Bubba Wallace being the lone black driver in NASCAR, it just was coincidental. So I imagine someone just noticed it and was worried for Bubba's safety, which is, I guess, good to see. And I guess it's good to see that there's no one hateful in NASCAR.
I'm sure
Right?
there's some hateful people in NASCAR.
There could
Yeah.
There's hateful people in
Well,
anything.
Didn't some guy that drove NASCAR came out and say something, and it was like, "Yeah, we don't know who this guy is. Like, you're a NASCAR racer." I don't even remember what the hell his name is, but
Well, so it was. It's not a guy in the. So there's different Cup series. So there's different levels to this stuff. It's like different AAA ball or whatever in
Yeah.
baseball. So the another racer in a different Cup series, after NASCAR banned the Confederate flag at their race events, said he was not going to be racing anymore. He's going to retire. And the reason for that being, he said he doesn't agree with the flag, but he doesn't agree with people's rights being infringed upon or something. I don't know. But he was a nobody. He had 0 wins, something. He was, I mean, I guess he's
Sounds
entitled
like
to
the
his opinion, right?
Confederacy.
What's up? Yeah,
Sounds
just like the Confederacy. But there was a bunch of Confederate flag people before Talladega waving the flag, like
Oh,
in
yeah, of
protest
course.
of the banning, and like a plane flew by with the Confederate flag on the back saying "Defund NASCAR." So
Yeah, that's ballsy.
tensions are high right now. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's good. This wasn't a hate crime. I mean, I think a lot of
Oh, yeah,
people
yeah.
were worried for Bubba's safety, so that's great.
It's good that it
But
was just all a
a misunderstanding,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I
So
mean,
yeah,
you can't
in
really blame them for like thinking that.
no, because it's the only one tied that way in all the garages. And it's not that it's targeted at Bubba. It just so happened that like each garage, like depending on where you are in the standings or wherever, you get your garage assigned to you. So it
Mhm.
moves every other week. It changes. It's a fluctuating thing. You're not assigned to a single garage at any single place all the time. So it just was a coincidental effect. It happened to be, and it was the only one tied like that. So I don't think a lot of people are comparing it to Jesse Smollett saying Bubba faked this for publicity, that NASCAR faked this for publicity. What do you think about those?
Who?
The guy from, what was he on, Empire or something?
Yeah,
Said he was like
he
beaten
faked
up.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he faked
It
a
was a Fox
attack.
News wet dream.
I mean,
A gay black
I
man lying about something. And they just
Yeah.
jumped all over that.
yeah. So Jesse Smollett claimed he was being targeted by Trump supporters with "Make America Great Again" hats, and that was found out to be he was paid for. He paid it off, and he set up the whole thing. But I mean, Bubba didn't set this up. This was just an accident. You know what I mean? First of all, he didn't even know about it. Someone in his team noticed it, and it's not like NASCAR planned this back in 2019. There's pictures of it. I think it's just one of those things people took it at, like noticed it at a time. They're like, oh, tensions are high, and mistook it for something.
Mhm.
So, but something that was not mistaken though, that resurfaced. So a few years ago, Megan Fox goes on the Jimmy Kimmel show, or is it the Jimmy Kimmel show? Late Night Kimmel, the one he does. But he's interviewing Megan Fox before the premiere of Transformers 2, and Megan starts detailing how at 15 she had a cameo in Bad Boys 2. She was in a club scene and she was dressed very provocatively, I guess you would describe it as. She was as she describes it, she was sexualized by Michael Bay. That kind of put her in an awkward position. And Jimmy Kimmel's response was, most of us have those thoughts. Some of us just have the decency to repress them, kind of laughing, kind of joking about it. And Kimmel later had to apologize this week and says he basically said that this doesn't like affect him, that he was just making a joke, I guess. But do you buy that? Do you think that was an appropriate response? What do you think of that?
Um, it sounds like the sort of thing that a late night host would just try to make light of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because half the
Yeah,
time it seems like
definitely.
they're just kind of belting out whatever the writer's room or whatever they can think of on the spot. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
kind of
think he's advocating sexualizing
pedophilia.
children.
Sexualizing young children.
I mean, it's crazy that like the focus is on Jimmy Kimmel for this and not Michael
Michael
Bay,
Bay.
who did it.
Well, I think there's also a focus on Michael Bay, right? Like
I would
we're
hope
kind of,
so.
Well, I didn't even
yeah,
know
because
Michael Bay
he
was involved until you mentioned him.
really you didn't
Yeah,
notice that.
I didn't look into the
Yeah,
story at all.
Michael Bay's really weird. He's definitely like because in most of his Transformers movies, he's sexualizing teenagers. He's sexualizing. Well, Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf are older, but they're playing 16-year-olds in the movie, and
Are
he
they
puts
playing
Megan.
that young?
I believe so because
In the
doesn't
first one, they do.
Shia LaBeouf gets his first car at 16, right? So they're in
Oh
high
He
yeah.
at least
school.
goes to college in the second one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe
But
17.
then there's
but
that
in the
one with Marky Mark where they
yeah,
have
Yeah,
like
she
a
was like
whole
12.
scene dedicated to the Romeo and Juliet laws. So it's like, it's not statutory rape.
Yeah,
which
that was
even that one,
weird.
I think the actress is 18 or 19, but she's playing like a 17-year-old,
Yeah.
and it's really weird.
Why even bother having a scene for that? Just like, hey, you're 18.
But then
Yeah.
the last one he did, the actress was like 16, and she was like playing like a 14-year-old,
Yeah, that
and
one
they
was
got
weird.
real close to sexualizing her. It was really gross and really disgusting.
And it's not. And you basically could have done the whole movie without the girl.
Yeah, she served no
Like she
purpose.
literally served no purpose except for Michael Bay to sexualize her, which was really strange.
I mean,
So I think
in all the movies, it seems like in all of Michael Bay's movies, it seems like the female characters do not really serve a purpose. They're just kind of there as eye candy.
I
yeah,
mean, at least in like the first two, like Megan Fox provides depth for Shia LaBeouf.
a little
Or
bit,
does she
yeah.
provide a goal for him?
There's one way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
See, the sad part is I always kind of liked the Transformers movies when I was a young, dumb, kid. But looking back on them, they're not good.
Well, yeah.
Like,
While
they
you were
have
watching
good
that, I was
parts,
watching
but-
Citizen Kane and like actual good movies. So like, I don't know what you were doing. I'm cultured.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, okay.
Ding dong, boom, boom. I like it.
Do you think this speaks to a broader culture in Hollywood, though? Because we
Wow,
had the Me Too
broad.
movement.
That's very offensive, John.
But the culture in Hollywood, like we had the Me Too movement, right? And a lot of people said that they were critical of actresses for not speaking up earlier. But here we have an example where Megan Fox was trying to kind of tell us early on. No, maybe it's not the appropriate setting. Maybe people didn't take it seriously because it's Kimmel and everyone's telling funny jokes, and maybe they think she's laughing about it. But I think, everyone's kind of laughing at her. Maybe she doesn't feel empowered to kind of tell her story, that like maybe she just has to deal with it.
Well, I feel like before like the whole Me Too movement, it was kind of just like an unspoken rule. Like that's how. I mean, this is coming from somebody who lives on the exact opposite side of the country as Hollywood, and all I have is the knowledge that I've learned from it. Is that it was like an unspoken rule. That's what happened in the business.
Yeah, so I don't know. I hope people learn from Megan Fox's story and go, yeah, maybe don't do this to little girls, and maybe people don't put little girls in this situation. I don't understand why you needed a 15-year-old in that scene. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's tons of women you could get that are of age that can do that part. Like it just seemed kind of weird. Well,
I agree.
you too, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it might not matter because the world might be coming to an end soon. Who knows?
Thank God.
Well, Arctic temperature has been recorded the highest in human history. So
Hey,
since
it's
we've
lit.
been keeping... Wait, yeah, I mean, not in a good way, but all right.
No, it's
So
lit.
since we've been recording since the 1800s,
We've only been recording for about 13 minutes, John. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're making things up here.
Well, you wouldn't let me start over. You screwed up the beginning.
Did
But-
I?
We didn't screw anything up.
So it was recorded at 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius in the Arctic. So for all
Wait,
of those
what?
who don't know, yeah, it was 100 degrees
Oh,
Fahrenheit
God,
or
there's
38
supposed to be
degrees
ice
Celsius.
there.
Yeah, that's above freezing.
No, but
That's
No, you
So
said
what
100 degrees Fahrenheit?
yes,
Yeah, that's a little bit more than above freezing.
yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it's above freezing. So what they're saying is, I guess the ocean currents are carrying warmer winds to the Arctic. Like they're carrying warmer water to the Arctic, so it's kind of making it warmer there. And it doesn't help that global warming's a thing. But
that's a myth.
whether or not human beings are responsible for it, who knows? Yeah. Right?
I love how the side topic you picked for this episode is global warming.
Well, we were asked to do more international stories. This is very international. This allows the entire Earth. We care about it. This is a real thing.
I'll put it this way: we're gonna be fine. It's just gonna be a matter of it's gonna get a little more uncomfortable. Like
What? Don't.
No. I would rather not have the Earth get hotter, but I don't doubt that we won't be able to adapt to whatever comes.
I think people are gonna adapt. Like I don't think it's gonna be the end of the human race if global warming happens, but I think a lot of people might die if global warming happens. You know what I mean? You're gonna have droughts. You're gonna have changing food patterns. You're gonna have food shortages.
Mm-hmm.
animals are going to migrate in different ways. Plants are going to move into different locations. Like it's just going to be a thing that happens,
Well, maybe it's a good
right?
thing, John.
I mean I don't think so.
Well, let me elaborate. Because think about how much excess and unnecessary stuff we have. Maybe eventually we'll get to a point where it's like necessity to just have priorities.
Would you say like an excess would be like you have one really good podcaster that hosts a podcast and he has two other people that just like are excess
Yeah,
and
well, why are we talking about the Joe Rogan podcast?
well, it's on Spotify now, so someone's got to take it over, or it's
Sure.
going to Spotify at some point. Well,
Those
last
going on
story
in
of
the
the
world.
day. This is the last one I
Wait,
got,
we're
unless
done.
you
We're
guys want
done with
to.
global warming.
Well, I mean, obviously, you think it's a
Apparently,
good thing.
John doesn't care about it anymore. John thinks it's fake, so
Well,
it's fine.
let me tell you, John. Solar panels. You should get some.
I
Don't
got
tell me how
some.
to live my life.
Your
I
house
got
is
some.
in a
I'm
perfect
helping the
location.
environment here, John.
Yeah. Jason has solar panels. Why don't you?
I, I'm moving on. So a grand jury has indicted three men. So the grand jury has indicted the three men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. So the case is going to court now. So some good news. So yeah, so they're going to
Yeah.
stand trial. So
Cool.
that's all there is right now. It's nothing. It's just that they're going to court. So yeah,
And all the other ones?
we're working on those. I did happen to see a video and it was like somebody I guess one of the officers involved in the George Floyd killing was out about in Walmart and like this lady, I guess you could describe her as harassing him, but whether or not you agree or disagree is up to you. Just kind of like, what are you doing out here shopping? Like it's normally like, he had Oreos in his hand. Like he just yeah.
What does that make a difference with what he had in
Yeah.
his hand?
I
It's
don't
a
want to side
relaxing
with him, but what does Oreos have to do with it?
Yeah, why is that relevant?
it's a relaxing food, you know? I
It
think
makes
Oreos has
sense
to
why
do
he wants Oreos. White supremacy. It's milk's
why?
favorite cookie. Any other questions?
No. But that's all the news I got for
Any
this
word
week.
on Breonna Taylor? I want to actually. Can we have an updating thing because that's been kind of quieted down? And I want to keep bringing that up every week.
Oh no, that's completely incredible. No, that's a great idea, Justin. And probably we should probably bring up the other cases because there have been others.
Yeah.
But Breonna Taylor, I believe one officer was charged, or no, sorry, one officer was let go, but the others, nothing has really happened yet. So
Okay.
we're still waiting on something to happen there, but nothing yet,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Are we still linking below to charities and funds that will help go towards the Black Lives Matter movements?
You got to talk
Totally.
to
I've been doing it. I've been doing it every week.
you got to talk to the podcaster. That's days are numbered. He's on thin ice over there.
All
Yeah, I
right.
know,
Well,
right? Tell me
let's
about it.
start keeping a ongoing place where we can all our listeners can send donations.
So,
And-
Yeah,
fun
Jason.
fact,
Yeah.
I did see that. So they put up, they're like, oh, in Minnesota, like they ride in like burn shit, and the officers got arrested and everything. And the guy in Atlanta did the same thing. Those cops got arrested and whatever. And they're like, nothing's happened in Kentucky, Tennessee,
Louisville, I believe.
Louisville. Yeah,
Yeah.
like nothing's happened there yet, and only one guy has been fired. So
Yeah, so it kind of
coincidence? Who knows?
it paints the argument like, yes, riding Louis is bad, but if it's getting the point across and you're not listening to anything else, maybe it's, not the riders and looters' fault. I don't think anyone agrees with it, but maybe you can understand their frustrations a little bit more if their voices are getting heard and the others aren't.
Mhm.
I
It's kind of dumb that people are focused on the rioters and looters because look at like with the pandemic. Do you remember that one guy who what did he do? He bought a bunch of hand sanitizer, mat, and PPE stuff, and then was trying to jack up
Yeah.
the prices to make a profit.
Yeah.
So it's literally some guy or some person taking advantage of a situation that is bad for others.
hmm
It's basically the same thing. It's someone taking advantage of a situation where good is trying to happen. People just want PPE, and now
Yeah.
they're getting this asshole in the way. people are just trying to protest. Now these assholes are looting. It's like,
Yeah.
I get why some people would take advantage of the situation because they're dicks, but the bigger picture you should notice is the important thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's like don't let a few of the people show you that there's a bad or that the whole cause is bad.
Well, these protests have also led to a lot of name changing, like a lot of General Lee high schools, a lot of Confederate statues are being taken down. I know the Theodore Roosevelt statue apparently in front of New York is getting taken down because of the way it kind of depicts Native Americans and African Americans. So, and I'm sorry.
Did you see the petition going around to rename the city of Columbus, Ohio?
Oh yeah.
To
Really?
Flavortown. Yeah, they want to name it Flavortown because that's where Guy Fieri's from.
That's a pretty cool idea, actually. I like that.
I mean,
it should have a more impactful name, but I'm half and half on the situation.
As long as it's not Columbus, because Columbus was a bad person.
So how much better would it be? Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Oh, cool. Oh, where are you from? I'm from Flavortown, Ohio. Best city name there. I can't get better than that.
It would be great economically for them.
It would be 100%.
Probably. Does anyone visit Columbus, Ohio?
I don't know. I don't think so. But how many people would visit Flavortown, Ohio? Astronomical.
Probably.
They'd see a giant economic growth. It's fine. I'm an economist. It works out that way.
I don't know. I like what I'm seeing going around. I think a lot of good's going to come out of it. And like, I know a lot of people might complain about some of the stuff going on, but I think if the end result is a positive, we're doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Big picture, boys. Big picture.
Yeah. Well, that's the podcast for the week, though. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Anything else you want to touch on, speak about? No?
Nah.
No?
Not really.
Okay. Well, if you want to follow the podcast, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Hot Takes and Beer Breaks. Email in at hottakesandbeerbreaks@gmail.com. And that's the podcast for the week. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Woo.